Hello everyone, this is Joker, or Commander Omegon if you will, and welcome to my channel and the big Warhammer 40,000 preview online. Well, I'm not going into the whole big preview, but one thing is clear. 8th edition is dead, long live 9th edition. Or in other words, we have a new edition of Warhammer 40,000 coming up. What will that mean? Well, obviously a lot of rule changes, from which we do not know anything about yet. Right, about the logo, just wanted to say, it reminds me a lot of Top Gun logo, and I'm okay with that. Yes, it seems off-center, although I'm not going into that. For me, it's a lot of reminiscence of the older style logos from back in the day, with a bit more cleaning up than the logo was of the last edition. The R looks a bit strange though. I cannot say anything else about that. I do like the new logo. I also like the old logo. So yeah, make that what you will. But let's go to YouTube for now. I'm gonna play the whole video and pause and play it. If it wants to.
Hello and good day. My name is James Workshop and I am here to tell you yes.
Here you can actually see that the logo is different. That's where the discrepancy comes from. I had not noticed that before. So.
You. 9 great things about the new edition of Warhammer 40,000. Are you ready? You had better be. Now strap yourself in and let us begin. I love it when it rhymes. 1. Warhammer 40,000 has been polished to perfection. Thousands of hours of feedback and innovation have refined the game you love into a gaming experience as...
I will resume the video a little bit later, but this means they listened to the community, changed the rules, tweaked the rules. I have no idea in what way yet. I am really excited about it though. I was already expecting a new edition, and I was hoping for a new edition, a fresh start with all that has been going on, which put me down into a slump. I hope this will actually get me out of it.
smooth as a Necron's shiny head. 2. The most immersive system for narrative play ever! The all-new Crusade system links your games. Earn battle honors, experience, and new rules for your army. It's time to toughen up, kid. Take your recruits from green to me.
Right, that I have mixed feelings about. I say mixed feelings, it's because now they seem to focus more on narrative play. In 8th edition they really focused on open play, and you could actually see that the rules were made for that than, for example, match play. Sure, they had a lot of match play support, but in the end it just was off because they focused too much on open play and then narrative play and then match play. And I think the whole of the community is more into match play than open play. Now with Crusade, narrative play will have more of a foreground. That will be interesting. Just for little small games, I really always liked narrative play. The missions were always fun. Thematic actually. And that's basically what brought me into the hobby. Please tell me what brought you in the hobby. Leave that down in the comments. What brought you in the hobby, and how long have you been playing? I've been playing since the beginning of 3rd edition. So that's quite a long time. And I've seen a lot of changes. So Changes are not always good, but definitely not always bad either. And with Crusade, yeah, you can more easily go for a campaign battle with your friends. And those can be really fun. And that's what gaming is all about, having fun. Alright.
3. Everyone loves command points, so now everyone gets more. Expect less soup and more super soldiers.
Alright, that is an interesting one. Command points have always been a mixed blessing. And I mean with that, they were good. It was an implementation that I had my doubts for in the beginning, and then it was exploited. And now, depending on what army you play, you either have too less where you need more, or you have too much where you don't need them. That's my feeling. I'm not saying that is representative to you or anything, but to give an example, well, you know, I play Sisters of Battle. I can easily put out a brigade, if I say it right, the big one, with the squads that I work around to have all the command points I want. That goes to a cost of the units that I want to put to the table. That's a real fair trade-off. I have the points that I want, most of the units that I want, with a few exemptions. Wow, you know what I mean? Exemptions. Right. And that is fair and balanced. But for example, when I'm playing Harlequins, I'm playing an elite army. And I really want to pick up my Harlequins again. But with the love that the Space Marines get, they are tricky to play. Sure, they are supposed to be tricky to play, but I'm always a few steps down. I play an elite army that is basically a glass cannon, but it is more glass than cannon. While Space Marines, for example, are an elite army. They are sturdy. They are difficult to get down. That is what sturdy means. They can deal out a lot of damage. And they can negate a lot of damage. Especially Iron Hands. So, yeah. More command points for armies that can really use them is nice. Sure, Space Marines will also get a lot in this way. But that's not bad. Not bad per se. Custodes, for example, will get more out of them. The super soldiers in the picture. And they needed them. They could not get them. Marines are expensive. Custodes are expensive. Harlequins are expensive. They always had just enough or too little, depending on what army you play. And if you look, for example, at Guard, they had so many. Oh, I'll take this, I do that. They overrun others with command points. The downside of that is, and that's also the comment here, less soup, more super soldiers, is that a lot of people were taking cheap detachments to get more command points instead of units that are relevant to the battle. For example, they take a few guardsmen and two cheap HQ, and you get 5 extra command points. Sure, you give up some other bonuses, but it's worth it. Now you can more easily play mono faction, because doing the other thing will actually cost you your command points instead of gaining them. So you are being rewarded to staying true more and more to your force. I do wonder what that will mean for allies, if they will be more acceptable to take or not without losing other bonuses. I don't think so, at least not just yet. But that is just speculation, and I'm not going into too much speculation at this point. I am really looking forward how they implement this and the new detachments. And what kind of detachments? We know that the specialist detachment from Psychic Awakening will be still in the game, because they are basically written for 9th edition. So if you want to see the changes that brought, you can extrapolate from there.
4. Tanks are back on track. Your armoured behemoth's been getting bogged down by pesky horrid grots or squishy gaunts? No more. Tanks can shoot in combat, blast foes at point-blank range, and keep on rolling. 5. Terrain's been...
Right, that tank part. Listen very carefully what was said. They can shoot in combat. That means your 10-man squad of guardsmen that try to tie down a Leman Russ. I know Leman Russ is also a guard, but guard versus guard in this example. The Leman Russ was basically impotent. That's why you would do that. I mean, the Leman Russ could easily kill you if it shoots you, so why not charge it and risk the overwatch? But now, they will be able to shoot you still while in combat. And to me that makes quite a lot of sense. Especially when you take, for example, my army, my immolators. You charge my immolator and I cannot fire my flamers, my anti-personnel weapons. Why not? They are basically there for. And this, it makes a thematic sense. And it kind of makes sense in that regard as well. It will make the game a little bit more fast-paced, and you will see a lot more casualties. But on that, be willing to take casualty in your game. If you're too careful with everything you play with, it will not go well for you most of the time.
Rebuilt from the ground up. Want to defend a
Right.
building?
One more point about the blast weapons. I think they mean weapons that used to have the blast, like flamers and plasma cannons, that depending on the size of the unit you shoot at, you will be having maximum shots or not. I have no idea how they will be implementing that, but that's the suggestion I get out of that. That is interesting. I will speculate a little bit. I think if you have squads of 5, you will be safe. If you have squads of 10 or larger, it will be maximum shots. To me, that kind of makes sense. I mean, a 5 Spaceman squad is usually very dispersed, but the 10-man guard squad or sister squad, in my case, are a lot easier to hit. So it would be strange that a flamer or a plasma cannon will only be hitting one sister of squad of 15. Sure, random happenstance is always a part, but a plasma cannon would be more random against 5 Terminators than 15 sisters. Again, this is just a little bit of speculation. I have no idea how they implement it.
Getting bonuses while you do? Absolutely. Want to sneak up on your opponent using terrain to block their line of sight? We've got you covered. Want to run screaming at your opponent with your chainsword raised and a hymn to the Emperor on your lips? Not completely relevant to this section of the video, but also, yes. 6.
Right. Point number 5. Terrain will be redefined. Again, can only speculate. And as I said, I don't want to speculate too much. But I have the idea, the feeling, that you can no longer shoot through terrain, even if it's visible. meaning that all terrain will be line of sight blocking. And that is interesting if they do it. It's probably something they picked up, I must say, from ITC and stuff, where they say all ruins on first level are line of sight blocking, unless it's really unbroken open archway. So windows blown out doesn't matter, you can see. Doors blown out, you can see through it. Doors hinged, door's still in there, you can see through it. Can't see through it, to reiterate. I think they are going with those lines. So basically you can hide. Maybe it's just only for first level. Maybe it's for more. Depending all on how they will write the rules. But it will be more that terrain, at least that's the feeling that I get, that terrain will be more a representative on the table than an actual, this is what you see, this is what you get. That sounds a bit weird with the Wishiwick, but when you see a ruin, you know it's a ruin. When you see a forest, you know it's a forest. And you know how well you can hide in a forest. You know how well you can hide in a ruin. So in that regard, it is still Wishiwick. Just true line of sight through terrain will be a lot different. This will most definitely help assault armies in the same way. Again, this is speculation. As it is done now with ITC. And that is not a bad thing. Depending on how much terrain you have on the table will depending how the battle flows. And that's always been a good thing. You must not have too much terrain, but not too little either. Alright, point 6.
Warhammer 40,000 at every size of game. From lunch break combat patrols with your new army to crushing your friends beneath the iron boots of your full collection. We have balanced the scales. 7.
With that, I got a feeling that they will be more supporting of different sizes. Again, I don't know if that's all for match play. A small patrol mission might be more suited for open play or narrative play, then the big battles will be more suited for match play. It seems obviously, again, we have not seen any rules and we will be seeing them later, and I will be probably reviewing them once they come onto the website. Now it's just about the 9 great things about the new edition. I really like that idea though. As I said with Crusade, I think that will be a nice tie-in with this. For example, imagine your co-worker playing also Warhammer. During the lunch break, you play a quick 10 pickup game while drinking coffee. The next lunch break, you have calculated a few simple advantages and you go on, and with the same forces you have a different battle. I think also it will, speculation, it will be more representative with, like as I said, Crusade, but also with the missions, the options, the maybe even the attachments. We'll see. I'm really curious, but I like small games because they are not that bogged down. Longer games are fun because they are bogged down. With larger games, it's less of a problem to lose a unit or even a few. Hell, I even won games with only one model standing, and I've lost games while almost annihilated my enemy. And that's real good with different size of battles if implemented well. I have to say if, because I don't know the rules, but I'm excited about this. I really am.
Tactical power at your fingertips. Strategic reserves have changed, allowing you to strike your enemies from all angles. Think you're the cleverest general among your friends? Time to prove it, sunshine. Hit 'em where it hurts. 8 big guns.
Okay, I think I was a little bit too forbearance with the tank part. But we'll see that later. Right, point 7. Strategic reserves has been changed again. I have no idea how they will be implementing this, but I got a feeling that it will be more depending on what type of units. For example, you do not get the first turn, or unless you're still the initiative. I think that will be still in there. So you think it's better to hold a few units back, but I can't. Now you can again. A bit like the old Recon mission, where you only started with 1 or 2 troop choices and maybe 1 HQ. The rest had to be in reserve there, but they were coming up in the first turn on their dice roll, and later on automatically in your own deployment zone, unless you had rules that were making it possible for you to get somewhere else. Like, for example, Terminators or the old Wolf Scouts that could infiltrate from behind enemy lines and stuff like that. With this, you get more tactical flexibility. And that's interesting. That's really interesting. Again, we can only speculate how this will be implemented, but giving more control to you, the player, is always good in these things, because it will depend on what you do more than what you have to stand here.
Never tire, and firepower feels great. Explosive weapons deal maximum hits to hordes as they swarm across the battlefield, so bring your favorite guns to the party and get the job done. It's time to have a blast. 9.
Right. Like I said, when talking about the tank shooting into combat, I was too much ahead, because point number 8 was about the maximum hits on squads. Like I said, my speculation is 5-man squads are safe for the maximum hits, unless obviously you roll for it. 10-man squads will be more susceptible. Again, it's waiting until we get more information about it. But seeing as how most other rules are kind of written, I think they will be going this way. But we'll see. I already talked about that. The tanks are back on track point, so I'm not going further into that. Right, point 9.
Aircraft take flight. Soar across the battlefield, ignore intervening models, and return for another attack run. It's time for aircraft to feel aircrafty. Pew pew noise is optional, but highly recommended. New Warhammer 40,000 coming soon.
Right. That was the 9 great things about the new edition. The flyers will no longer be able to be pinned down by units on the ground. That's good. It works 2 ways. That will make flyers more viable. Sure, Elder flyers did not really need that. Then again, Elder flyers were really hard to pin down this way anyway, so I don't think it's a great advantage for them. It's more an advantage of those who left their planes behind to deal with the planes of the Eldar, because, well, you were too much pinned down, too easily pinned down, and oh, I'm flying off the table. I am really glad that they brought back the ongoing reserves, basically. I mean, yeah, it was a bit strange. Oh, I miscalculated this area of engagement, so I'm now flying into this wide open space and I'm gone. That's not the same as from I am miscalculating this and I'm flying into a wall. the end of the engagement should not be a hidden wall. I hate it in video games, and I always thought it a bit strange in 40k. It's basically actually more reminiscent of when flyers actually first came into the game as we know them now. You would have to put them on the side, from they're coming from over here, and then you flew and they were gone again, stuff like that. Yeah, we'll see how that will be impacting the game. That I maybe can finally bring my Xiphon a little bit more. Maybe need even to buy another one, because Xiphon, awesome, at least. The only problem with that is I play mostly sisters and it's a marine thing. Oh well, yeah. That is my problem, not yours, obviously. Right, those were the 9 great things about the new edition. But I am not done yet. Okay, that did not really go well as planned, but yeah. We covered the logo, and here we have a new codex, the Necron. They will be apparently the first new codex. I would not be surprised if Marines are the next one to follow. As always, Marines get more love than any army, but on the other hand, it sells, so in that regard it makes sense. Fair? Not really. But without Games Workshop, no Warhammer 40k, and it's the hobby I love, so I'll deal with it. So here we got the new Necron mock-up that I was sent to me. Probably have already seen it, because I'm not the first to bring out videos. I'm late to the show, but I'm not here to be first to the show. I'm here just to enjoy my hobby and bring it to you. So, yeah, it's a real grainy image, but that is the one from the trailer. I will not be showing the trailer because it's a long video. Maybe I will at the end of this. Maybe. Right. Then we have more Necron goodies. There in the back is a new construct. I dare to say that has to do with the Silent King. There on the left is also a new thing. I'm not sure if the flyers are new. And there in the background, not sure if it is just terrain or anything else. And then we have that construct. I can only say this and that because I'm not a Necron player. I have hardly any idea what is. Although I used to play Necrons back when they first came out, not in plastics. More close combat units, and that's the funny thing. People are like, from my close combat will be less viable. At least I've heard that in my group. And yet Games Workshop seems to be focusing more on close combat now. Right, Necrons. Again we have the contract out of the video. So yep. And then Space Marines and more Space Marines. I really think this will be an executioner. I have been heard that people are saying in Chaplain terminus, meaning end, and an hourglass, again, end, executioner, ending. But that's my speculation. I really like the model. I'm not sure about the head yet. That it isn't really painted doesn't really help. New Marines. I've heard that they will be troops, not fast attack. Not sure what to think about it, except they look awesome. Real dynamic poses, which is a good thing for Assault Marines. And then we have these guys, also seen in the 40k trailer. And they again look awesome. I like the shields. They are really reminiscent again to the old Crux Terminators. They are proper storm shields. I wonder, they will probably most likely be elites, but I wonder. Bodyguards. And then the bikes. Personally, I like them. For the people who say, yes, but they should have been grav bikes. I don't know. I like a little bit foot on the ground, not everything to be grav. Rule-wise, because that's not something that will be changing too much. Everything grav means terrain is no longer a thing. That should not be so for Marines. We already have a lot. They have already a lot of anti-grav weapons, platforms. Too much will be too much. But I like the look of them. They are really built for war. They are built to shoot. They built to redeploy, and that's it. Functional. Like basically everything in the Imperium. Blocky, simple, functional. Not aesthetically pleasing. And that is kind of aesthetically pleasing in this. But alright. Let's see. Then the last picture of today. We got another, probably lieutenant with storm shield and what looks like a Volkite weapon. So yeah, interesting. Again, obviously Ultramarines. So yeah, let's see if I can get. Obviously, that never works well. The trailer on.
In the darkness between the stars, the weak and the faithless find no deliverance. We are raised to believe that the God Emperor watches over us all. And so we are charged to cleanse the mutant, the heretic, the alien. We must not falter. We are his sword. We are his wrath. Even in the face of death, we shall not submit. Suffering is our prayer. Faith is our armor. In battle, he offers us redemption. And for those who prove worthy, the Emperor sends forth his angels.
Our Imperium is besieged. Across 1,000 worlds, we fight for our survival. Those that would tear humanity down are legion. Our forces are few. Our enemies many. There is no respite. There is no mercy. And in our darkest hour, a spiteful universe awakens forgotten evils to break us. Yet still we stand, the last bulwark against the terror. And while we draw breath, we will fight. For in this new dark age, there is only war.
So that was the new cinematic trailer of 40,000. And with that, I will be ending this video. I will be saying I really love the trailer. It is interesting to see how sisters are now being more on the foreground while being left at the background for so very long. Almost like that the Adaptosorites are now the second poster girls, I wanted to say boys, for Games Workshop. I mean Warhammer. Because Games Workshop will be slowly be phasing out, obviously. So basically, sisters together with Marines are now the face of the Imperium. And also with that 40k. The end of the Imperium that has been rumored is just a rumor. Obviously it's something dramatic. I think we'll be seeing more of Tyranids and Necrons, and obviously also of Chaos, but that's also where the whole Psychic Awakening is about, and that's not what this video is about. As said, I will leave at this. Please leave your comments down below. What do you think of the new coming of the edition? I'm really hyped about it. I've been waiting for it. I don't like when games get too stale. And that was the feeling I had with 40k. Too many new things, but it was still too stale. Also because too many same things were got it on the table. And let's hope that this will fix that problem, where more mono factions will be equally as useful as soup and things like that. So yeah, I really hope this will be for the better, and I have the feeling it will be. I really wonder what changes it will bring. I'm not gonna speculate anymore on that. This video is already long enough as it is. Like I said, leave your comments down below. I hope you're as hyped as I am, at least. And for everyone, stay well, stay safe. And in the grim far future, there's only war. Commander Omegon, signing out. Bye bye.